Legends, welcome to episode 81 of the Early Crow. No Dicko this week. Paps, what do we think he's doing in Fiji? Do you reckon he's training for a Muay Thai camp? Like, what's the angle over there? Or do you reckon he's lost in the Fijian jungle somewhere with the kids?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to buy some horses in Fiji. Do you have any horses over there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so. And if he does, they might be slow ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't get involved in them if he comes back with any horses from Fiji. It's just M Pratt and T Papley steering you for what will be a short, sharp episode 81. Mate, how have you been? Firstly, result didn't go your way on the weekend, but I thought the boys showed a little bit considering it was the second last game, and good old Tommy put the clamps on Cameron.
Yeah, it was obviously a bit disappointing the second half. We
Mm,
gave it to them the first half. They're a good side, and they sort of kicked away at the end. But yeah, it was a little bit frustrating. It's sort of we played the way we want to play in the first half, and then they sort of picked their way through us and were scoring on us a bit too easy, scores off turnover and things like that. So, bit to work on. Obviously, the week before we were very good, and
mm.
for the first half this week we were pretty good, and then sort of just lacked a bit defensively. They were scoring a lot of our mistakes and turnovers. So, um, yeah, we'll get to work on that this week, and still focus on West Coast this week to give some nice momentum into 2026 and hopefully just kickstart our season well next year. But yeah, Tommy was very good on Cameron. I think he's one of the best defenders in the league when he can stop players. He's a very good, quick, tall, strong, and competes like hell. So yeah, he's a very good defender and did very well on him.
What does Coxie get out of you blokes for the last 2 weeks of the year when there's obviously there's pride to play for, and I know you're one of the most competitive human beings I've ever met, and a few of the other blokes that I've met through you are also fucking competitive beasts. So what does Coxie try and get out of the team and the squad for the last 2 weeks? I mean, it might be the last 2 weeks that you get to play with some blokes as well. What's the messaging internally to round out the season on a high?
Yeah, I think when we knew we couldn't make finals when we lost against Giants, our
Yep.
our focus was towards 2026. So we made a little bit of a pact that we want to play the way we want to play for 2026, getting the right mind frame for that. Not worry about like trying to beat teams to stuff their finals up. More worried about us and the
Yep.
way we want to play. And I think against Essendon we were pretty poor, but the weather was sort of pretty ordinary, so we sort of forgave that game and focused on Brisbane. Really played the way we wanted to play against Brisbane. We were very good then, and then on the weekend, like I said, we sort of fell away. But yeah, just to work on some things we need to work on with our attack, and
Yep.
also defence. I think our defence is really important. If we're going to go a bit faster and a bit more through the corridor and things like that to stop those turnovers, because we leaked a fair few turnovers on the weekend,
Yep.
and they ended up scoring really heavily off that. So something to work on for this week. Obviously got West Coast, and they're sort of in a similar boat. They want to be focused on next year. The last game of the year can be pretty um, hard to get up for, but we'll work hard to do that and get something out of it.
Yep, fair enough. Without a few of the boys around, I thought Angus Sheldrick stepped up on the weekend as well, playing in the guts. It's got to be positive signs, and the boys have got to be up and about for a young player, putting his head over the footy and going and grab it. Second last round of the year.
Yeah, he's been really good. It's the more time he gets in there, the better he gets. He's signed for 2 more years, which is good as well. So
Mm,
good faith. Especially, I think a fair few clubs probably would have been after him, especially the WA bloke teams because
for sure.
it's from there. But yeah, he's been really good. He's played most games of his career this year and really found his spot there. So I thought Peter Laddams was really good as well.
Just about to
Um,
say that.
Grundy was out. He was obviously a big out for us, but yeah, he didn't look out of place at all. He's a very good ruckman in his own right. He dominates the twos, and it's a bit hard to knock over Grundy
Mm.
to get your spot in the side. So he's really good, and yeah, I was happy that he went well.
Yeah, 100%. Kicked a couple of snags as well, which is always good for the big fella. It'd be a miss from me if I didn't speak about your 300 goals now, mate. It's probably not something you were even thinking about going into the weekend, but when you hit milestones like that as an AFL player, and I know your answer and the media's answer is going to be, oh, it's just 1 week at a time, and we just get on with it. But do you think you'll reflect back when your career's done, hopefully 5, 10 years from now, if you can play that long? Is that something you'd be pretty proud of? Like 300 goals is an amazing achievement in the AFL. That's not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah, it's. I think if I'm playing for 10 years, it's Pratty. I don't think I'll be able to walk too much, but I hopefully get a few more.
I didn't want to sell you short. Imagine I said 5 and you'd come back with, mate, I'm going to play for fucking 7. What are you on about? I was like, all right, fuck, sorry, mate. So I just thought I'd put the 5 to 10 in there, Just cover my ass a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that you probably um, think about post footy. I think even just more for the family as well. Like mum and dad would feel pretty proud to on the weekend to see that I kicked 300. Like they would have had no idea, and just to get a few messages from mum and dad to say congrats was nice, and some other family members as well. So yeah, it is pretty cool to say you kicked 300. I've certainly thought when I got drafted from the rookie draft, I wasn't going to play a game or anything. To kick 300 and nearly play 200 games is pretty it's pretty special and something I'll probably reflect on after my career.
Love it. Is that life membership for the AFL if you get to the 200 mark?
One f- uh 150 is club. I think
Yep.
200 club. I think.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that it's funny. I was looking at this the other day. 200 club. They count pre-season games, and so I think I'll be able to qualify for like all these other things they get. I think you get a free grand final ticket, other
I was
tickets
about
for
to
the
say
grand
the Raw still
finals.
on. That's the main part. It means that you've got a grand final ticket that you can have for the rest of your life, and
Yeah,
you can stroll. I mean, you'd be able to stroll into any ground and get it anyway. But just one
yeah,
less thing you have to worry about if you want to go to the footy once you're done, and just
yeah.
stroll into the GM, stroll in the AFL members, which is quite a nice facility in there. But no,
Yeah.
that's gold, mate. What of your 300? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here. Is there one goal that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, probably. I think it was actually against Geelong. We were down by 4 or 5 points, and I kicked the last goal with about a minute to go, and I think it was on the left on the boundary, and I gave it a fair bit. So that was pretty. Actually, it was actually pretty nice. I think they played it on the weekend before the game. I was like, "Fuck yeah,
Yep.
that's nice." That's one that sticks out. Yeah, probably that one, I reckon.
I'm glad you didn't go with the Collingwood one where you might have shoved D Moore in the back.
Oh
I thought you did,
yeah.
but I thought you were going to jab that one into me. I think it's it's an unreal achievement and it's a massive congrats from me. And I know Dicko would be saying the same, mate. So hopefully there's many, many more to come. 400, 500 on the cards. But yeah, I think a big congratulations from us and the Crow family, mate. It's something that doesn't go lightly. And when you get to hopefully that 200 AFL games as well, that's I reckon that's something you can hang your hat on. So, no,
Thanks, mate.
congratulations, mate. What the AFL though, just in a whole, mate, going into this last round, I don't think I've ever seen the the opportunity for sides to finish either in the top 4 or miss the finals, and there's like 7 sides that it could happen to potentially on the weekend. It's one way to finish an AFL season, even if there are a lot of games of 4th v 13th and 2nd v 17th. There actually are some big ramifications this weekend.
There is in there. I think Brisbane v Hawks,
Yep,
Pies even v Melbourne,
yep, Friday night.
um, Bulldogs Freo. There's going to be yeah, a lot of teams are actually playing a final
Yeah,
when you think about it. So
mm,
and then they get a week off next week, so they'll be going pretty hard. I think it'd be interesting. I think Freo Bulldogs are going to be that's going to be the one that everyone's going to be watching. I think Bulldogs at home will I'll be tipping them if I had to tip one, and I think Brisbane will be okay against Hawks up there. Is it up there or is it at MCG?
Brisbane v Hawks is the last game of the round at the Gabba.
At the Gabba, yeah. So I reckon they'll be right and make the top four, and obviously Geelong play Richmond. So yeah, I reckon Geelong and Adelaide will be top two, and I reckon Collingwood will beat Melbourne and Brisbane will round out that sort of top four. So yeah, it looks good, and yeah, unfortunately we won't be playing, but I'll be
Mm.
definitely watching closely some final games. They're always good to watch.
Yeah, interesting. And depending on what happens with the Gold Coast result this week, they could be potentially playing Essendon next Wednesday to make the finals as well, which is bizarre. With that game that was completely missed, I, to be honest, completely forgot about it. We've got one game of AFL on Wednesday, the 27th of August. The Suns v the Dons, and it could be for the Suns making the finals, and teams sitting there sweating after doing training for a week. It's very, very bizarre. You could have been planning Mad Monday and things could have been all over, but then you just never know. You might get in, you might get knocked out. It's a very, very random one. But anyway, good on the AFL for rescheduling that game to a point and dragging out the season for one more week.
Yeah, this would be tough flat for Essendon. You just want to finish the season, and they got to
Yeah.
play up front up again on a Wednesday. But
No, it's
yeah, it'll be
true. They
interesting.
have shown a little bit though. Like I think a few of their young blokes have tried to step up,
Yeah,
and at least I think they've made the most out of what they can for the last few games of the season, considering how many injuries they've got as well.
yeah.
Yeah, good on them for sticking it out and having a real crack. But yeah, Gold Coast and Essendon next Wednesday, you'd be spewing. Gold Coast would be spewing if they didn't happen to win that game and didn't win on the weekend and miss finals. So
Imagine that.
would be a bizarre way to end the season. If you were playing, who's the team that you think you'd hate to be playing in finals? Who do you think's up and humming at the moment?
I think Geelong's very obviously Geelong's pretty fresh in your mind from the weekend, but
Yeah,
Geelong and Brisbane, I think with Adelaide, I think they're very good. They'll be very hard to beat at Adelaide Oval.
agreed.
Obviously, not sure what's going to happen with Rankin.
Mm-hmm.
They also get Rochelle back potentially,
Yeah,
maybe for the second final. But yeah, I think Adelaide will be very hard to beat over there. So they probably do make the finals when you think grand final when you think about it. But
mm.
um, I think Brisbane. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because then Brisbane play Adelaide, don't they?
Yeah,
Most likely, or Brisbane might play Collingwood, but yeah,
yeah.
it's an
Currently, as it
interesting one.
stands, it's Adelaide, Geelong, Brisbane, Collingwood. So
Yeah, well, yeah, it's tough. I'll, I'll say Geelong.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. I think if Collingwood, I mean, they've got to win. They have to win on Friday night. I'm Geelong. Absolutely, I'm in total agreement with you. I'm also scared fucking shitless of the Dogs because I just think the Dogs can put up just such a monster score with that midfield and the way their forward
Yeah,
line's operating at the moment. Like, I don't like when we pump these young kids up too much because I just think it sets them up to fail. But Sam Darcy is unfucking believable. Like if he
yeah,
gets on a roll, and then they have to put all the pressure on him, and then Norton chimes in over the
Norton.
top, and his last 4 weeks have been unbelievable. I think
Yeah,
they are so deadly.
yeah. If
Geelong
that,
Bulldogs scare the absolute shit out of me for sure.
yeah, if they miss, geez, that'd be sick, wouldn't
It would be sick considering I think they've got like the second best percentage in the league. So when they
they?
win,
Crazy.
they've been winning massively, but they've lost a few games along the way. But anyway, I think that just about rounds us out for the AFL, mate. It sets up for one last weekend, a few good games on our hands, and then we get a week off with the one game in between. I think is the EJ Whitten game. I think that might happen to be
Yeah, that
next
must
week
be
as
then,
well.
is it?
Yeah, I think that's on. It's either Thursday night or Friday night next week. So we've got one game of AFL on the Wednesday, and then that on the Thursday, and then into finals time, which is crazy. Season's absolutely flown again.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Shall we get into a bit of eyes on ponies? Let's chat on what we wanted. Was there anything else from around the grounds? Any other sport you wanted to chat about?
Do you want to just quickly chat on the cricket? I actually
Oh,
watched the end of it.
mate, Glenn Maxwell. When he's seeing them, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? It's
Oh,
crazy. I was watching that. I was like, Jesus, you just knew they were going to win the whole time with him in
yeah,
there. Like you just back him in.
yeah,
And like even just the way he's reversed bloody ramped it for the win.
yeah. He's a
Um,
he's a freak. I watched a video. I think he did a video with Cricket Australia, I reckon, and it was talking about his training and about the his coach, which I've forgotten the name of, his batting coach, and how like 6 years ago or 7 years ago they've just gone, mate, you got the best hand eye in the game. Let's change away from getting your technique right, and let's just make sure that you're when you swing the bat, you're swinging it in the good arcs to make sure that you're hitting the ball out of the ground. And it's just him is an absolute pleasure to watch. And then Mitch Marsh, the way he set up that innings to win the game the other night,
yeah,
when he stands still and just clubs the ball over mid wicket and backward square leg. It
yeah,
reminds me a lot of Shane Watson when he just used to stand there and
yeah.
wave that wand
Big
and just
kicky.
yeah, and just fucking deposit the ball all over the ground. It was good to see Mitch Marsh back in a bit of form as well. But all things lead to the Ashes, mate. I fucking can't wait for this summer of cricket. It's going to be unreal.
It's gonna be elite, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be. Geez, I seriously reckon it could go down to decider in the at the SCG, and I'll
I
be
agree.
there with bells on.
I agree. It's England are starting to hit their straps again. That was a cracking series against
Yeah,
India.
India, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there's a
I watched that
few.
final test.
Yeah, there's a few blokes that are in red hot form. I think like our bowling is still
Yeah,
unbelievable and the best in the world, especially on the decks that we're going to juice. On the decks that we are going to produce. But yeah, I think if blokes like Harry Brook and Joe Root's in career best form, he's only getting better. I think
mm,
there's blokes like that could genuinely take the game away from us. It'll just be the likes of the Gus Atkinsons and whoever helps Wokes out. Are they going to be able to take the wickets to get it done? Our batting's a little bit frail. Hopefully Hetty and the boys stand up. But yeah, sets up for a ripping summer of cricket. I can't wait.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like they've got an elite batting lineup, we've got an elite bowling lineup. Their bowling lineup isn't great, and ours isn't. Our batting lineup isn't great, so it's going to be a great contest. Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Boxing Day, be at my joint, on the deck. 2 TVs going. I think it's Caulfield during the day, so that'll be on the small TV up the top and the Ashes down the bottom. And then I think I'm going day 2 and day 3. So I just fucking can't wait. It's going to be a ripping summer of cricket. Mate, let's chat eyes on ponies to round out episode 81 of The Early Crow. Let's start at Sydney, mate. What did you take away from the weekend's meeting? Skyhook, are we following? What are some of the things you saw on the weekend?
Yeah, it was Skyhook was very good. I think I actually had I know when you look at the track and stuff and you see the wires, but there's it says 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in lanes 1 in run, but 2 of them were actually leading.
Yeah.
And Pippi Beach was very good. Rails in run. But other than that, it's Skyhook, but I think Skyhook was back of the field, small field, and went around them. So I sort of said rails in run was a slight negative on the day, because at the turn they were coming around. But when you're leading, it's a bit different, in my opinion, because you can sort of get off that fence first, but then if you're sort of coughing, you can't get off the corner quick as like the leaders and stuff. So the horses that were sort of coughing 3 or 4 pairs back, struggled to sort of get into the run early enough, and Pippi Beach was huge to get the job done there. Travolta was very good in the staying races, coming up the rails as well, so that was a good run. But the sort of ones I took out of the meeting was Karinska was huge, just huge in race 4. Got a bit of time for this horse. I reckon this horse. Race 3 it might have been. Just hang on.
Yeah, I think it was race 3. Yeah.
Yeah, race 3 absolutely savaged the line. Wants further. I've been talking to Lindsay about this horse, and he really likes it as well. So, I reckon the Flight Stakes looks appealing. But been talking to Lindsay, and I reckon the Flight Stakes 1,600 metres could be a nice little play. I think you can get around $51 there. So have a little something on that each way. Sacred Rocks was really, really good. I think this horse is not going to win a big race in the spring, but it's been luckless. It was luckless again. It was worse in midfield and sort of back to the inside. So if that horse can sort of get another race, like a light-on race, maybe, benchmark, I don't know, 80 or something, 88 or something, I think it could knock that off with a bit of dry deck, good barrier. And then the best race of the day was race 7.
Yep.
Birdman, Land Legend, Our Gold Hope, Kinesiology even, back to the inside for a cup campaign. I think Birdman, Land Legend was probably the better run. Was a little bit further back, sort of. Birdman got the 3 wide line and really hit the line nicely, but Land Legend was really sneaky and good, and was a little bit further back than Bourbon, but those two look very good for a Cups path. It's interesting though, like, geez, you show that turn of foot, 1,400 metres on a heavy. Is there something a bit shorter they can target? And I don't know.
Is it one of those ones where you're potentially looking? You would assume that they go to 1,600 second up. If they happen to stay at 1,600 metres third up, maybe the camp have gone, hang on a minute, like we could potentially nick one of these Group 2s. They could potentially do it second up as well for sure. But I think if you saw 1,400 on the weekend, and then if you saw 1,600 and 1,600 again, I think if you saw that 1,600 metre third up run, you're going, okay, if they run as good as they did on the weekend and peel off the sectionals they did, maybe they think they can nick a Group 2 or even potentially a Group 1 on the way through before going down those Cups paths. I mean, we are talking August, what was it on the weekend? 16. We've got still a month and a bit, maybe even a little bit longer. Before those Cups come around, so be interesting to see where they do run. But yeah, if they get a Christmas setup and third up 1,600, geez, I'd be backing both Birdman and Land Legend for sure.
Yeah, it's like Waller's got VS16, so he probably dodges the Cox plate anyway,
Yep,
into a cup. But
yep.
yeah, I don't know what I'm not all over the handicaps for a Caulfield Cup, but
No, nor
sort
am
of what
I.
else is around. But they might. Waller just likes to dodge and weave, so
He does, doesn't he?
um, but our God Hope was very good as well.
Yep.
Held up, trialled very very nicely into that, and that can go pretty well and definitely get some black type. Race 9, Rosalind Star was very good, 3 wide no cover off a very very good trial.
Yep.
Does like the heavy, yes, it was heavy and on speed, but I thought it was still a very good run. Race 10, Lord Penman was huge. Absolutely huge, back to the inside, worse than midfield, rails in run, and just missed Cloudland. And it's sort of geriatrics was sneaky with J-Mac on
Yeah.
at the rear. Lost 3.2, but it was sort of back to the inside in the inferior lanes. I reckon that horse, it's not going to win a big race, but I reckon you can plus a fair bit on that run and
Yep.
might be able to snag a little race somewhere as well.
Yep. Love it, mate. Especially coming off that slow tempo for both of them. They might be
Yeah,
primed to strike.
yeah, that very
Be
slow tempo, wasn't
very interesting to see if any of them are on the 7 day backup and if
it?
they slot in somewhere or even potentially what benchmark was that race?
Benchmark
Benchmark 94. So you're probably
94.
not going to see it to the midweek yet.
Nah,
But yeah,
I reckon,
if you
yeah,
see
if
any
you
of
can
them back
snag
up,
like a, mm,
yeah, be very interesting. I'm glad you mentioned like Sacred Rocks is just knocking on the door to win one, isn't it? Considering
yeah,
how well that ran up the inside, we were on, and I just
yeah,
you knew it was going to have to be something seriously special. When it was hugging the rail up the inside, but having a look at that number as well, thanks to puntingform.com.au. Yeah, very
mm,
very good. I reckon it's just Mark keeps these horses going deep into a prep, so you know that if they're going to send it around again, you can trust it, and who knows where that might pop up to potentially win. That one genuinely could go back to the midweek. So I think it came out of a midweek run, so
yeah.
there's
It's
probably something.
it's still a benchmark 78.
Yeah, still something floating around for that. Going forward, mate, we've got the Winx Stakes this weekend. How wet is it going to be to start with? And it
It's
just isn't this time of year just great when you get to these races. Like I went to Caulfield on Saturday, and just the fact that there was probably like another 1,000 people on course, and there was a bit of a buzz, and the better horses are stepping out, and all the trainers are there. Like you know that it's getting to that crunch time of year where the prize money ramps up, and it's just all the good horses going around.
Yeah, it's good. Like you look at this race versus Stina Gringotts Fangirl doesn't like the heavy. That probably won't. Uh, be interesting to see if Waller runs it round.
Mm,
Aliana, Wolf likes the heavy. I thought that was a great sort of all-in play around the $13, $8 now. Gano's bloody knocked that off, I reckon. Mr. Brightside doesn't like the heavy. I don't know if it's coming in. Another will, don't know. Robusto, not sure with that. Lady Shenandoah hasn't run on the heavy. It's interesting. Um, Wallace said he was going to start that horse over the sprint trips and he
I
puts it in
know.
the 1400-meter race.
Yeah.
Um, but I reckon Wolf, yeah, is sort of a play that I'd be thinking about. Apparently, look, V16 is very, very good. Had that one, it's sort of hard. You forgive that run or because it was pissing down rain that one start in the heavy, and very wet that day at Caulfield or Flemington, wherever it was. But I still think V16 is a good chance in this, even though if it is a heavy track. Gringotts apparently is flying, but looks a very, very good race. Look forward to that. There could be one in the Silver Shadow, Argerwood, wet track, goes forward, gate bot, will be fit and ready to go. $2.80. That looks be interesting to see what that opens up on Wednesday, but it's
Mm.
$2.80. You might be better off just waiting. Apocalyptic, apocalyptic.
Yep.
That is that
Apocalyptic.
it. Apocalyptic. Yep, there you go. That's trialled huge.
Yeah. Right.
So keep an eye on that. But I won't be betting anything early.
Yep.
Just waiting for Wednesday's markets and look forward to get into it, mate. What
Yeah.
about do you have anything for down there?
Yeah. I thought Caulfield played okay on the weekend. I think early on, before there was a bit of rain just after the Jimmy Ricard race, if my memory serves me correctly, standing there with Pistol getting pissed on rain. I thought you wanted to be kind of like in lanes 3 and 4. They look like the express lanes. Like if you saw Willow's ride on MacDane, if you saw his ride on Bossy Bonita, he was just off the fence. And I think they were the better lanes and the better going. I think I'm going to forgive Gala Queen out of that race. I know it was a heavily supported favourite. 1,100 up to 1,400. And I think it was just outside of that sweet spot. The market was very, very keen on it. I think it was like 350 earlier in the week. It opened 280 on Saturday and started 250. So I think that's one that I'm going to trust from the Stokes camp, who seem to have a few things going at the moment. That's one that I'm going to forgive and I'm going to follow around again. If they go up 220, you don't even have to think about it. You're probably not having a bet. But if they stay at 1,400 and you're getting $354, I think that's one that you can follow. And then from race 4, I know the horse has been up for a while, but I actually think Stylish also went really, really well in that race. It was back and buried. There was no intent on the weekend from Shin out of the gates, and it was very, very good late. So I think they're two that I'd be happy to follow. Happy to forgive Gala Queen and happy to follow Stylish going forward. The question is, again, with Stylish, are you going to get a price to find out? But being on course, mate, it was just, geez, it's nice being back when the better horses are back. There's the Vane Stakes, the Quisette, there was something of meaning on the weekend, and it's great being on course. Caulfield did it really well. I think they're not being paid by Caulfield, but happy for them to jump on a sponsor if they want. I'm pretty sure it's something like they've got 59 meetings this year, and I think 40 of them, if you pay your entry, you get a $15 food voucher. So it's basically cost, and you get a race book as well. I'm not sure that they've realised that people have race books in their phones for every meeting everywhere, but that's all right. But I think if you're thinking about going to the races, definitely get out to Caulfield. It's a good track. You're really close to the action. And yeah, with a $15 food voucher, you really can't go wrong. It's basically a $5 entry, and you're not getting much better value than that. Yeah, I think for their big races, it's obviously not. But for these other Saturday races, like I know it was on the weekend, PB Lawrence Stakes Day, you saw Private Eye, Nash just give that thing an absolute peach. But for $5 to go and view a horse like that in a field like that, I don't think you can go wrong. The one that I also do want to keep following, mate, which Dicko and Linz and Zav Harrow have been all over, is it'd be very interesting to see what they do with Pop Award. That was it was a fucking peach on the weekend by Matty Cartwright. Look, I think Arkansas Kid, I think we all saw that down the outside again, probably not in the best lanes, but I wonder what they do and where they go with that horse. It only got better into its last prep, so it ran its best figure third up. It came out and put a huge number up. Caulfield 1,100 first up this prep, but it has backed it up going to the 1,200. They went out under the all average benchmark and finished home basically 6 lengths better than the all average benchmark for the last 600. So if Matty Cartwright's obviously going to stick, it'll be very interesting to see where Miss Tolson and Miss Proctor place that horse.
Nice, mate. Nice. Where are we there on the weekend?
We're going to Moonee Valley this weekend.
Valley, that's it.
Yep. I cannot remember the race day that it is, but I'm looking forward to going. I think it's the 5th or 6th last Valley meeting ever. So it's been 10 minutes down from my joint for obviously all of my life. So I'm looking forward to getting there. We've got the Carloin this weekend, over 1,000. So potentially seeing the likes of Barrackeel, maybe Midwest, Mornington Glory, Oak Hill again, after that really good effort at the Valley last time. So that race looks like it might be a competitive card. But yeah, getting down for the last few meetings of the Valley, it's going to be sad to see it go, and hopefully they improve the joint. But yeah, why not, mate? It's rude not to, especially when I think the weather's 20 degrees and sunny again on the weekend. So
really elite.
Yeah, perfect weather down here. It's been absolutely freezing in the mornings. Poor Dicko in the sunshine in Fiji, while we've been, I think it was 1 degree this morning, and it felt like -2 when I walked the dog. So
Jesus.
Yeah, shout out to poor Dicko in the sunshine. But yeah, the weather's starting to turn here. At least if the mornings are cold, I don't care. It's a nice 20 degree sunny day today. So yeah.
I've got one for you.
Oh, here we go.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
it's gonna
here
be heavy
we go.
track.
Here we go.
Heavy at Randwick. Signor Tortoni.
Yep. Race and number.
race number 6,
Yep.
number 4.
Yep.
Comes back from 2 starts ago, one well at Canterbury. Comes back
Yep.
from Saturday grade against Glorious Moments, who's gone absolutely huge. Started $5 v it, and sort of got absolutely belted, but they won. They won the race, and it
Yep.
was too good. But it was half not suited. We'll lead here now with Colette on, who loves riding in the wet.
Doesn't he?
6, and so they're thinking at 350 now, but we have something on that for the Crow family on a nice little Wednesday, depending if you get it out. But there's one for you anyway.
We'll definitely get it out, mate. This episode will be out within a few hours with one take wonders here when Dicko's not around, so it shouldn't be too much effort for me. So that was race 6, number 4 at Warwick Farm, Signor Tortoni.
Yep, Signor Tortoni.
Beautiful, mate. Well, I think
Nice, mate.
reckon that just about does us for episode 81 of the Early Crow. Nice, short, sharp, and sweet. You may not be around next weekend, but hopefully Dicko and I will be back with you for an episode on Tuesday.
Thanks, mate. Bye for now.
Bye for now.